Athletics LLC. I was trying to make that into the Warriors come out and play, but that didn't work.
At all.
At all. I tried. E for effort on that one.
Need the bottles. Cling, cling.
I know, right? Anyhow, welcome to another fun episode of Athletics LLC, everyone. Heidi ho. Clyde, how are you today? I'm going to guess you work at San Jose State. I mean, you're just all geared up. I like it.
I'm geared up. I'm still in the office as I imagine most of our colleagues are. It's industry Christmas. It's signing day, so we all still at work.
You're right.
I like that, industry Christmas. We should get that legally changed.
I mean, seriously. Sir Lucius, yes. Your NLIs are done, sir. We've cut off your NLIs. You can stop checking your email.
I mean, for those of you who know me and know me well, my NLIs never get cut
never
off.
Stop. It could be literally July 2nd.
Exactly. It's a never-ending process. And so, yes, I will be checking my phone periodically.
That man will sign a 26-foot long jumper to the lint in his pocket. So, for sure.
If that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
Lamar Hood Celebrity Huffington. Oh my goodness. Hello, sir. You're so extra.
I got a shout out to my mans. I bought some Hood Celebrity gear literally out the back of a vehicle in New Orleans. So I got to shout out my guy. I love it.
So, we could act surprised, but none of us are. So
listen, y'all know what it is.
Yes, we do.
What it is, what it do. Anyhow, well, if you weren't ready for some seriously entertaining entertainment, here we go. And just to make sure that Clyde is nice and comfy in his seat and feeling all natural, let's just loft this college football chaos right back into his lap.
Oh, y'all must have missed me or something. So, I took a little hiatus and the chaos has not stopped. It's the greatest season for chaos ever. I'm having a ball with it, but the shenanigans, the just inconceivable, just joke that is these official rankings. It's offensive at this point. Not offensive of who's ranked where. It's offensive that they are insulting everybody's intelligence like we don't understand that there is a very conceived game being played here. So I have it right here. Georgia's at 1. Okay, fine, whatever, cool. Alabama's at 2. Lost to Texas A&M. Oregon's at 3 after being moved down and down and down after winning. Now all of a sudden they're up at 3, which I find interesting.
May I make a point to that comment before you go further?
Sir.
That's an unfair comment because it's 2 different polls.
Oh, of course, of course, and yes, okay. Of course. Okay, I'm trying to focus on. We're in the time of the year now where the only poll that actually matters is the CFP because that's who decides who goes where, right?
Exactly.
So Oregon's at 3, Ohio State magically is at 4, and of course Cincinnati at 9-0 is still getting hosed at 5. So listen, if it was ever unclear before in all my years of rants and raves and whatever, like this year with all things that have happened already, the fact that Cincinnati is sitting at number 5 is a loud, flashing red light foghorn that they don't want you. They're just not that into you. They don't want to see you in the show because clearly Cincinnati belongs above Ohio State, above Oregon, and I'd argue above Alabama based on what has happened this year. Cincinnati didn't go out and lose to Texas A&M. Okay, so
I don't think Cincinnati can beat Texas A&M. So
and that's fine.
Stop it.
Whatever. But the disrespect is hilarious. Oklahoma, who I'm not a huge fan of, is 9-0 and sitting at number 8 behind Michigan and Michigan State at 8-1. So the committee loves the Big Ten. the committee always loves the SEC, and because they have no choice otherwise, they will tolerate the Pac-12 having a team in versus Cincinnati getting in. That's all this is. This is politics 101. This is a money grab at its finest, and it's offensive because they think we can't see it. So I will continue to root for chaos, meaning Alabama and Georgia find their way to the SEC championship game, and Alabama loses again to Georgia would be the best thing to happen for chaos, because even at 2 losses, they're going to put them in anyway. You know they will. At 1 loss, both teams are getting in. So it's really only 2 spots because the SEC is going to get guaranteed 2.
Wow.
Oregon will most likely lose again because it's the Pac-12 and nobody runs these kind of tables. Ohio State, who knows? Like, you know, Ohio State hasn't been overly impressive at all. Who knows? But, you know, I hope Oklahoma runs the table and is sitting there at 12-0 or whatever they do these days. But Cincinnati's not getting in, folks. I don't care what happens. Somehow, some way, Cincinnati's going to land at 5. And no matter how many teams lose, somehow they're going to land at 5.
You're terrible. I mean, okay, so
I know.
Yeah, you are. Because as we discussed last week, and as I said to you a million times before, there's no little man behind the curtain.
No, it's 10 men behind the curtain.
There's nobody behind the curtain.
And every now and then a woman.
The cowardly lion, Dorothy and Toto. There's none of that going on here. Okay. At the end of the day, okay, so let's look at this. Okay. Cincinnati absolutely has a path to get in. But what Cincinnati has to stop doing is playing garbage against garbage teams. Okay. We have to have some quality wins. As I said last week, if we'll look at the parameters set forth by the committee on how they rank teams, nothing that's going on here surprises anybody. This is not a conspiracy theory. It's not a money grab. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Okay. So,
what's the path that Cincinnati has to get in?
Okay, I'm going to explain it to you. Okay. Because, okay. So, first of all, this theory that Alabama gets in with two losses is absolutely laughable. It's not going to happen. If Georgia beats Alabama, they're done. There's no way they're getting in. No, they're done. Okay. Second of all, Ohio State still has to play Michigan. They still have to play Michigan State. And so if Ohio State gets to 2 losses, they're done.
Oh,
okay?
Sure. Yeah, no.
Right? And so the same thing with Michigan and Michigan State, who are behind Cincinnati. Okay. Because the Big Ten, they don't know who's the best team in Michigan in the Big Ten right now. Okay. So there's definitely a path for Cincinnati to get there. But Cincinnati has to at some point in time help themselves, because clearly, as we talked about last week, the issue Cincinnati has is they are in a league that they have no respect for, and they keep playing down to their competition. You know, we know that there's something called here, you know, let's be flashy, let's put up 50 points, hold your opponents to about 15 or 20, and we're good. But when you go in and who they played Tulane last week? And Tulane has the ball.
Tulsa, if I'm not mistaken.
It's like, there you go. Okay. So they're playing Tulsa. Tulsa has the ball with less than a minute to go with a chance to tie the game on Cincinnati's home field.
Yeah, they had a few starters on offense out of the game.
No, because see, so in your absence, your man Lamar Hoodie said that Cincinnati is as good as Ohio State or any other team at the first 2 positions. So if they had a couple of starters out in there that good, it shouldn't have had a problem against, who was it, Tulane or Tulsa? Which one was it again?
Tulsa, if I'm not
mistaken. Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to hear you say that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if Cincinnati would help themselves and beat these people like they are the 5th ranked team in the country, and stop reading their own press clippings and stop reading their own hype, they do have a chance to get in. But absolutely, there's no way a 2-loss Alabama or a 2-loss Ohio State, okay, it's not going to happen. And Oklahoma has the same issue. If Oklahoma, they just haven't been, as they would like to say, haven't been very sexy. If Oklahoma starts playing great football and they're undefeated, then they're going to get in as well. Because they have some quality wins that they're going to come up here with.
Wait a minute. I don't want to stomp on Lamar's time here, but I got to understand clearly what you're saying. You said Cincinnati has a path to get in. I wholeheartedly reject that, because for them to get in, others have to do things. They can't just win.
I just said that. That's their path. Okay. Here's
Well,
the
that's
thing.
not their path. That's someone else's path.
But again, there is a way for them to get in. Maybe it's not a path as we want to pick at words here. But at the end of the day, okay, all right, there's a very good chance that Georgia beats Alabama. A very good chance that happens. Okay.
Sure.
Georgia beats Alabama. There's a very good chance Ohio State might lose 2 or 3 games this year. Okay.
All I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is this.
You said was Oregon could lose another game because it's the Pac-12. So if all of those schools have 2 or 3 losses, Cincinnati has a chance.
So this is why it's ridiculous.
Can I jump in there?
2 or 3 losses.
Okay, I just say that.
Can I jump in there?
If they all have 2 losses, since you want to be that again, 2 losses, Cincinnati gets in. They're not going to put a 2-loss Ohio State or Alabama or Oregon in front of Cincinnati. It's not going to. No.
Okay, so I want to start right there.
Thank you.
I want to start right there.
You start wherever you want. And I'll tell you like this. If they put a 2-loss Alabama or anybody else over undefeated Cincinnati, I will buy you guys dinner anywhere you want to go in the world. Because
I don't necessarily disagree with you about the 2 losses, but here is my point about the shenanigans of this poll. Okay. Cincinnati is undefeated and currently 5th. My issue with this system is this. I look at this poll and I know not only does Cincinnati not control their own destiny, but they have issues above and below them. So we won't even talk about the teams above them. Like that's not relevant because it will solve itself. To your point, if Alabama beats Georgia, we all know they're both getting in. If Georgia beats Alabama, I agree with you. They will take the 2-loss Alabama and pick them out of the top 4. So if you're not in the top 4, that's not the issue. But this is my issue. I can see a very legitimate way that if Cincinnati wins the rest of their games, they could still get passed by Michigan, who's at 6, Michigan State, who's at 7, Oklahoma for damn sure, who's undefeated and at 8. Let's be truly foul and petty and be honest. Notre Dame, who they beat at 9,
not gonna happen.
Oklahoma,
no way.
See, let me finish let me finish laying my whole thing out. I'll tell you why I say that. Oklahoma State at 10, not Texas A&M at 11, and even Wake Forest at 12. And here's why.
You're drunk.
No, I'm not
Once
drunk.
again, you failed to take your medication.
Okay, listen to me.
I'm listening to you. I'm gonna listen to you.
For Notre Dame to win out, that means that they got to run through the rest of their schedule and win the ACC championship, right? That for sure is going to rank them above Cincinnati. If they finish the season with a 1 loss in their ACC champion, I'll bet you dinner anywhere.
Okay.
If Notre Dame wins out,
because I'm gonna make sure I'm good and hungry. Because that's not gonna happen.
I'm fair. I like that.
For the same reason that Oregon is ranked above Ohio State right now, they will not put them in over undefeated Cincinnati team because Cincinnati beat them. Remember, I told you that.
And they have done it before.
No,
they have one. Yes, they have done that before.
They have not hold on a second. A 1-loss team has not gone in over somebody that they got beat by. So stop.
That absolutely has happened.
So when?
That's happened with Ohio State.
I'm old. My memory's getting bad. So help me.
That's happened with Ohio State.
What?
Do you not remember the year that Oklahoma beat Ohio State and Baker planted the flag? Do you not remember that game? Because Ohio State absolutely in the final
hold on a second. Oklahoma was undefeated that year and didn't get in, and Ohio State did.
Oklahoma had the same number of losses at the end of
the year.
Hold on a second.
That's not one. That's not the same scenario. An undefeated Cincinnati team will not get left out over a 1-loss Notre Dame team that they beat. Not change the parameters of the conversation.
The bet has already been made.
Weak attempt to be right, my friend.
I don't think it's a weak attempt at all. I also don't think it's going to happen. Like, I don't think Notre Dame is going to be undefeated. But my point is the fact that I can legitimately look at this poll I can legitimately look at this poll and I know that if Michigan runs the table and has one loss, they will definitely pass Cincinnati. If Michigan State runs the table, runs out, and they have one loss, they will definitely pass Cincinnati. If Oklahoma runs the table and they have no losses, I don't think any of us is going to argue that one, right? No, Notre Dame, we've already discussed. For Oklahoma State to run the table, that means they got to beat Oklahoma, right? They're only going to have one loss and they would be Big 12 champions. Texas A&M is done. But then you got Wake Forest, who was all the way down at 12. But if they run the table and win the ACC championship, especially if they beat Notre Dame to do so, okay. I'm just telling you, like, this is my issue. My issue is this. The undefeated Cincinnati, without question, does not control their own destiny. And I think that's wrong. That's my only issue.
Wait.
As I tried to explain last week, okay, this is not the man behind the curtain, okay? They play in, what's the name of their conference?
Cincinnati.
Yes,
they're in the Conference USA, right?
Doesn't just flow off you don't even know what conference they're in.
It was a question. I don't know, but I don't
that's
think it's
my point. And that's the relevance of the situation, because the committee has no respect for the conference they play in.
Oh, wait, time out.
Let me finish, because see, you guys want to jump on this soapbox of being undefeated.
No.
Being undefeated does not guarantee you a spot in these playoffs. And in my opinion, it shouldn't.
You've never heard me say that, sir.
Right. And so when Cincinnati beats somebody, and don't tell me Notre Dame, because nobody on this panel thinks that Notre Dame's that good. What's the word you use for them, Hoodie?
Oh no, they're for sure Fugazi.
Without question. So other than Notre Dame, who have they played? The president, the guy that's the head of the committee, said that on national TV last week.
Of course, he said that because that's what he gets paid to say.
No, he does not get paid to say that. See,
wait a minute.
He doesn't get paid.
You have positioned.
There you go with the conspiracy stuff.
You have positioned yourself of being the defender of the committee at this moment. So I don't fully agree with the deep end that Lamar dove off of, but most of it.
Oh, he's drowning.
But most of it, he's dead right about. Sir, wait a minute. You can't, and I say you, when I say you, I'm talking to you as a representative of the committee.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have it both ways, because let's be real. Whether we believe in Notre Dame or not, it has been established law that the committee believes and stretches for Notre Dame. They do it every year. So the committee believes in Notre Dame. And I'm sorry, if Notre Dame is representing the ACC, last I checked, Clemson's dead. So why is the ACC so much better than whatever conference Cincinnati plays in? Hell, why is the Big 12 so much better than whatever conference Cincinnati plays in? The Big 12 is trash. Who's good?
I mean, let's just be honest. The ACC is hot ass garbage right now.
And so, okay, hold on a second. And so is what? I'm gonna ask you this again. What conference does Cincinnati play in? And you better not tell them.
They're in Conference USA, are they not?
I said Conference
USA.
No,
they're not.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're in the American. They're in the American.
They're in the AAC.
AAC.
But, see, but that's my point. You guys don't even know what conference they're in.
I don't care. I'm talking about football.
But you want, okay. If you believe that the conference that Cincinnati is in is as good as the SEC, the Big 12, or the ACC, you're drunk. The conference they play in is terrible.
Here's what I will answer the indirect question that you asked, because my answer has never changed forever. I don't care that the committee believes that the Power 5 conferences are oh so much better. Every conference is basically the same. You have one or two really good teams, a bunch of trash at the bottom, and a few average teams in the middle. That is true of the SEC, the Pac-12, the ACC, and whatever else. And in any given year, whoever the hot team is, Alabama aside, because Alabama's always good, right? That's the way it is. So what I'm saying to you is the committee clearly by these rankings is telling you that we value the Power 5, period, and we have created space to reserve a spot for the Big 10 champion. Right now, we favor Ohio State, but it could be Michigan and it could be Michigan State. Either way, we're setting that up. It's going to be one of them three, and they're going to get in. And they have set the table for Oklahoma. Oklahoma, you're below the Big Ten because we know the Big 12 is trash right now, but you're undefeated. So as long as you keep winning because you're a P5, you're going to hop over the undefeated Cincinnati. And you will not convince me in 2021 that the AAC and the Big 12 are a huge difference. Texas is trash. Oklahoma State's trash. Like, they're all trash.
Okay.
Texas good. Baylor's good.
Some of that.
Oklahoma State's good.
I will go to my grave with this one. That you guys are delusional if y'all think those are the conversations that are happening in these rooms.
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is this. The conversations, the conversations that are having in the room
is sitting in the room and saying, we're setting this up to happen. That's what you just said.
The conversation that's happening in the room is simple. What's going to make the most money on television? Cincinnati's not good for TV, so we're going to make sure that other people are on TV. I've been saying that forever.
In that room, it's not.
I've been saying that forever. They did it to Boise.
Well,
they did it to Utah. Let
me expose your argument a little bit. See, I've talked to people who sit in the room.
That's cool.
Yeah, right? And so I am a little privy to some of the conversations that happen, right?
Subtle flex alert.
All
right.
of this.
Subtle. That's
I'm
big
just trying
flex.
I'm just trying to educate y'all a little bit.
That's signing day flex. That's what that is.
Oh, wow.
That's signing day flex right there. That's signing day flex.
See, that was unfair, Clyde. That was unfair. So all I'm saying to you is this. Making me choke over here. So all I'm saying to you is this, is that I understand where you could come up with that theory, but it's wrong. Okay? If you look at the parameters that they've put out publicly of what they look for and what they're trying to do.
There's nothing clear about the parameters.
Okay. No. They're clear if you want them to be clear. But you don't want them to be. Okay.
So wait a minute. Look, is it the four best teams?
Okay.
Is it the four best teams?
It's the four best teams based on their parameters and opinions.
Which are what?
I don't have them in front of me.
But you was in the room. You talk to the people in the room.
Okay. So look, they're based on strength of schedule, based on what do they call I'm gonna just call it sexy, right? Performance matters. Okay? So beating teams that you're supposed to beat, right, by a large margin. The playing quality opponents. Those things are in that equation.
Okay,
but at the end of the day, okay. If you have an undefeated Cincinnati and an undefeated Ohio State's always going to win that battle because they play in the Big Ten. So you're right. Cincinnati is punished because of their schedule. And I'm not debating that, but I'm not telling you I agree they shouldn't be punished because they play the weak sisters of the poor every weekend.
But stop that. Wait a minute.
Because they play who will play them, and I said that last week.
85%.
They play who
still
will
play
play
the weak
them.
sisters.
Wait a minute. 85% of all conference schedules are dictated by the conference that you're in. The choices that they make, Cincinnati chose to go out there and not play the Sisters of the Poor, to play Notre Dame.
It's one game.
Doesn't matter.
That's all who would schedule them. That's what I said last week.
That's all anybody's schedules. Are you?
Okay. Guys,
Alabama plays the Sisters of the Poor every year, 3-4 times a year.
Guys, on that point, my point to you guys is that look at their total body of work.
Their total body of work is not worse.
You guys want to hang your hat on the fact that they're undefeated.
Wait a minute. Okay. Who is Alabama beat? Who's Alabama beat this year that's any good?
Good question.
So okay, I tell you what. So I'm gonna put that same dinner on the fact that you line Alabama and Cincinnati up on neutral field and they curb stop Cincinnati.
Maybe.
They know maybe to it.
That's what everybody said. That's what everybody said about Boise State and Oklahoma with Adrian Peterson. And what happened?
Well, see, here's the thing. I am never going to a bowl game where one team is the underdog and comes in, the other team don't give a crap. I don't want to talk about that. You put in a championship. No, seriously, because it happens all the time. We know in this day and age where guys are like, I ain't playing hard, I ain't getting hurt. Cincinnati is riding on this wave because they played Georgia tough in the bowl game last year, right?
They played very well.
Okay, the bowl game last year.
Okay.
You get my point? So why does that even matter? That's my first point.
It doesn't matter.
It's okay. And maybe Georgia didn't care about the game as much as Cincinnati did. We know that's a very real possibility. It is. It is.
Let me
So
ask you this question.
Let
me ask you both this
I just
question.
don't think there's a conspiracy theory. So
There are 3 undefeated teams on this list, right? Cincinnati,
1, 5, and 8.
Oklahoma. Well, okay, not including Georgia, because Georgia is what it is, right?
Okay.
So let's take Georgia out, right?
5.
Cincinnati's
8.
5.
It's just 5 and 8.
Oklahoma's 8. Oh no! Oh, let's not forget, UTSA is 23.
My bad.
Right?
My bad. Yeah.
Right? They're all undefeated. If all 3 of those teams run the table, right? If they all finish undefeated in the final poll before we go into the championship, where are those 3 teams?
Outside of the P5, outside of the 4.
Where if you got 3 teams that have no losses, where are those 3 teams in your rankings? If Sir Lucius, if you're in the room,
okay, if Cincinnati runs the table and the things that happen above them and even below them happen, they belong in the playoff. I'm not debating that. Okay. If Oklahoma State runs the table, I haven't looked into that enough, but don't talk to me about UTSA. Just stop.
Not Oklahoma.
No, I'm just asking where. Look, I know they don't belong in the playoffs.
We had this discussion last week. If you're not in the top 11, and in this case right now, probably what is Oklahoma State? 7th, 8th?
Oklahoma is
Wake
8.
is 12.
Okay,
Wake matters.
We talked about this last week. You're not in the top 12. Who cares? Like you asked last week, is Purdue gonna be ranked?
I wanted to bring this back. I wanted to bring this back to Lucius because you said something in your original rant that I'm not sure if you meant, but you damn sure said it. And Chew we can run the tape back.
Every time we run the tape back, you're wrong, but go ahead.
Okay, but you said, you straight up said that Cincinnati, you said that a 2-loss team won't get in over Cincinnati, and that's fine. Honest people can debate that reality. But what you're saying there is Cincinnati has to be 2 wins better than everybody else.
That's not what I see. No, that's not what I see.
That's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you for a point of clarity because
No. See, so you said rewind the tape, and I clearly said something.
No,
what did I clearly say? Let's start there.
I'm asking you for clarity. Are you saying that a 1-loss team from a P5 automatically should be ahead of Cincinnati?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay, that's what it sounded like you said earlier.
What I'm saying right now, as we sit here today, is that the 2 1-loss teams that are ahead of them, there's 3 of them, right?
2, 3.
No, there's 3.
There's 3. Alabama, Oregon, and
Ohio
State.
Opinion, and I'll see the opinion of the committee, are better than Cincinnati today.
That's cool. And I'm saying, since we're having this conversation, based on what? What has Ohio State done? Who have they beat?
Okay. Ohio State's strength of schedule is much tougher than Cincinnati's.
Ohio State's strength of schedule is ahead of them, sir. They haven't played the 3 best teams.
Okay, but the people they've played so far are better than the people Cincinnati's played so far.
Well, that's a hell of a subjective art. Based on what?
Just look at the schedule. Just look at it.
Alabama's beating nobody. Oregon ain't beating nobody.
Okay. We'll see. Then because so if these teams aren't any good, they haven't beaten anybody, and their strength of schedules is ahead of them, then they'll lose, and then Cincinnati will be fine. But if they continue to beat people, and Cincinnati doesn't start playing better, see, Cincinnati committed the cardinal sin last week. They all stood up on their soapboxes. We got screwed. They got all these really cute signs and memes and all that stuff going around, right? Their head coach gets on national television and talks about how tough they are and this, and that, and the other, and they go out and they played a crappy game, okay? That was their chance to show the world we are this good, and they laid a turd. Right. It's just like you said, you can't call for attention and then hang up the phone. And that's what they did.
I just know this. What you said is correct. The 3-1 loss teams ahead of Ohio State, the committee firmly believes are better than Cincinnati. And you know what? I'm not even going to debate that, right? But this is my issue. Cincinnati is 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 all can for sure pass them without them losing.
Okay. Right. They will sit at 5 and get jumped and jumped and jumped and jumped.
I'm not going to tell you that couldn't happen, because again, it's the committee, it's an opinion-based deal. It could happen, right?
What's happening?
Okay, we'll see. Because I happen to disagree. See, I happen to think Cincinnati's going to be in the playoff.
I don't.
I mean,
Look, all
I
I
got
know
my
is
fingers crossed.
okay, all I know is this: is I think I'm the hot guy this year, right? As far as predictions goes, I think so.
You are on that. We'll give you that.
Yeah. So when I win this one as well, although Sir Lucius, you were correct. I'll give give me one of these or whatever it is, and we're good, because I think the chaos that is the Big Ten is about to unravel crazy.
If the Big Ten eats itself and everybody has two losses, everybody has 2 losses, then maybe
it's going to happen, because see, the problem you have with the Big Ten is the problem you have with the Big Ten is Purdue is a problem, so anybody's still got to play them. That's an issue. Michigan State, Michigan, and Ohio State all still have to play each other, right? At somewhere. Okay, Michigan State already beat Michigan. Ohio State's got to play Michigan State, and they still got to play Michigan. Okay, and then they got to go to the Big Ten championship game and win. And they have a rookie quarterback that's very spotty. So I'm not riding with that situation. I'm never betting a penny on Jim Harbaugh. Forget it. Right? Right? And then with the Michigan State guy, see, Michigan State committed to Cardinals said as well. They won the big game, and they went back and they celebrated too long, and then they came in and they got slapped across the face. That's a horrible loss for them. And that, even if they run the table now, that loss is going to be bad for them in the end of it.
Well, what's funny is it's not a horrible loss, because Purdue is 19th now.
Yeah.
Right. When they weren't ranked before. But so my thing is this, is that while, again, I'm not going to buy the guy behind the curtain deal. I just can't. I'm sorry. And again, because I've had conversations with people in the room, I know that's not true. And because I firmly believe that by the end of the year, Cincinnati will run. If Cincinnati loses a game, then shame on them. Okay.
Sure.
Cincinnati needs to shut their mouth.
They should not lose
back to play. Because look, all jokes aside, okay, because somebody has to be contrary in the situation. Everybody can't be on the same boat here. But all jokes aside, all arguments aside, Cincinnati looked very good against Notre Dame. Okay. But they haven't looked good since. And that's the problem. If Cincinnati goes back to playing that kind of football and beating their opponents the way they're capable of beating them, they will be hard pressed no matter what happens not to be in the playoff, because there's going to be chaos all around them. It's going to be.
Okay.
So
let me give you some background.
Cincinnati makes the Final Four. They do.
So if Cincinnati runs the table as referred to, they will have beaten USF, SMU, and East Carolina in their final 3 games.
Say that again, Darwin.
It's USF, SMU, and then East Carolina. Yeah.
There you go. And there's the problem, right? So they have to go into those games. They can't have any more of these nail biters. They need to go in and handle their business. Because I'm telling you, Ohio State's going to find a way to lose another game.
And because we definitely need to move off topic, but those 3 teams, they're so much better than, Vanderbilt and Arizona and
Missouri.
But who are not on anybody's schedule?
They're on somebody's schedule.
Alabama don't have to play Vanderbilt anymore, right, this year. Alabama still got to play Auburn.
Sure.
So I have that one. That was the next one I was going to go over. I don't know how they lofted this one out there. They're playing New Mexico State next. Then they have Arkansas. I know, right? That's why my face changed when I first pulled it up.
I'm just saying.
Money game.
And then
they do it 4 times a year.
New Mexico State, Arkansas, and they close out with Auburn on Thanksgiving weekend.
Their last 3 games.
Sounds like Cincinnati got a harder final 3 than Alabama.
They do not.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, because that fits your chaos mode. There's no way you think Cincinnati's final 3 games are tougher than
Alabama. I mean, Auburn's good, but the other 2, no.
Yeah. All right, and Arkansas is playing better. They are.
Yeah.
You just said she has a nice personality.
Mute his button or something.
Hold on a second.
Brought up Arkansas.
If she has a nice personality, what do the 3 Cincinnati people have? Nothing. They got nothing going on.
What's next?
Yeah,
So
What's next?
Because y'all keep getting yourselves in trouble.
This man just rode for Arkansas football.
So to close this
Arkansas
out,
football will be the people that Cincinnati has to play for sure.
to close out Ohio State's schedule, they've got Purdue this weekend, Michigan State, and then Michigan.
That's
So-
the hardest. That's the hardest three left.
that's
It
the
is
hardest
the hardest.
last three by
That
a
is
long shot.
way harder than Cincinnati. What does Georgia have left?
Georgia, let me pull that one up.
Look, I'm not necessarily rooting for this, but I just want to just imagine this, right? Strength of schedule and all those things matter. If Purdue wins this game this weekend, I just want to say for the record, that would be 3 top 6 wins in the same season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very nice. I like him.
Right? Like, how weird is it? So then where do you rank them? They're 7-3. If they win this weekend, they're 7-3, but they're clearly probably one of the best 10 teams in the country playing right now.
Man,
If they were to beat Michigan.
if they won their next game and were 7-3 and we're in the SEC, they'd be number 5. So
See, nobody. Hey, let's move on because
Wait.
shoot,
I have to-
what's next?
Let it
So
go.
I'm gonna not let you comment, only let you scoff and giggle at this. Georgia's remaining schedule is Tennessee, Charleston Southern, and then Georgia Tech.
What's
Okay.
next, Chu?
Okay, so moving on. The next thing we will be arguing about is, and actually it will be, the World Athletics men's finalist. What did I call them?
Athlete of the year.
Athlete of the year, yes. So I won't so eloquently pronounce the names as our lovely guest hosted last week. So I apologize. I know, right?
What'd you say?
He's
Said
worthy
hoodies.
enough.
I know you got it.
So the nominees in alphabetical order are Joshua Cheptegei. I know, I'm sorry. Olympic 5K champion, Olympic 10K silver medalist, world leading 8 minutes, 9.55 seconds for 2 miles.
With all
Ryan
due respect, you can skip right past him. He's not winning.
Ryan Krauser, Olympic and Diamond League shot put champ, undefeated all year. World shot put records indoors and outdoors. Amazing that they noted the undefeated all year because they didn't do that for the females. Mondo Duplantis, Olympic pole vault champion, Diamond League pole vault champion, European indoor. Jacob, I can't ever say that.
Ingebrigtsen.
He ain't
I
winning.
can't, yeah. I have to be fair. Olympic 1500 meter champion, European indoor 15 champion, European 15 and 5K records. Kipchoge, Olympic marathon champion, largest winning margin in Olympic marathon since 1972, and winner of Enschede Marathon. Sorry if that's wrong. Pichardo, Olympic triple jump champion, Diamond League triple jump champion, European indoor triple jump champion. Daniel Stahl, Olympic discus champ, Diamond League discus champ through world leading 71.40. Tentaglu, Olympic long jump champion, European indoor LJ champion, jumped world leading 860. Damian Warner, deck champion, Olympic deck champion, winner at Gottes and national and Olympic record of 90.18, moved to 4th world all time. Karsten Warholm, we know who he is, to be fair. Olympic 400 meter hurdle champion, Diamond League 400 meter hurdle champion, world 400 meter hurdle record, and 300 hurdle best. And that is who are our nominees.
All right, so I want to be the first one to say that, first of all, this list is equally as bad as the women's list is good. Because there are people on the list, sure, we drew a straw, we'll stick this guy on there. But I'll say it because I know I don't want my man to ever have to say it. At the end of the day, there's at least 5 people on that list that don't have a superior season on paper to Grant Holloway. So the fact that he's not on the list, you can't convince me in any, like, no matter who is trying to convince me that Grant Holloway didn't have one of the top 10 seasons of any track and field athlete. So at the end of the day, whatever we do today, it is for surely under protest. Like I would wear a free Grant Holloway T-shirt because that's
Oh my
ridiculous.
gosh.
No, I would for sure
No,
because it's ridiculous.
Can we pause for the cosign? So I don't know how many names she just rattled off. It sounded
10.
like 10.
Yes, sir, it was.
It's the athlete of the year. There are
Yes.
not 10 athletes in this year more deserving than Grant Holloway. So the fact that he is not in the top 10 is a sham. Call it whatever you want. It's nonsense. And I'll take it a step further. And this is where it kind of really irks me just as a fan of the sport. If Grant had completed the mission and won the Olympics, he would be one of only 3 legitimate options to win the award.
Exactly.
So how the hell is he not in the top 10?
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense to me, but he didn't. So it is what it is.
But again, they make it seem like he didn't make the final. The man left the games with a medal.
I mean, silver medal.
One bad
not a
race
world record
to win a silver medal in the Olympics. It's ridiculous.
Number 2 time all time in the event. Nonsense.
World record indoors.
World record indoors. So now that we're off that soapbox,
yes,
I appreciate you guys taking care of that for me. I really do.
Hey, look.
Because we wanted to look at the end of the day, we don't want anybody to ever be able to say anything about you having any level of bias. Listen, I love Grant, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. If Grant was my actual flesh and blood and he deserved to be 11th, I'd stand on the soapbox and say it. But at the end of the day, the man lost one time, set a world record indoors, had the fastest time in the world outdoors, and again, lost. He won the silver damn medal.
Yeah.
Like, stop it.
He not off the top 10. Like, that's nonsense. However, eliminate 8 of those 10. This is a 2-man race, in my opinion. I'll let y'all, iron out the details, but it's between Krauser and Warholm, and everybody else. They shouldn't have we wasted time reading their names.
Okay, I'm gonna say, because of your lack of knowledge of the event, I'll give you a pass. It's a 3-man race because
Warner's
Damian Warner. It doesn't matter. You can't pick from this group and not say Damian Warner's name is not worthy of conversation. Y'all know who I think should win? I've been saying it since halfway through the season, right? Like, Ryan Krauser's season is unapproachable in the throws world. Like, go back and look. It's unapproachable. He broke the world record in the shot put from indoors and out, never lost. Stop it. Like, this is a done deal. But in the decathlon, to have a season like Damian Warner did, to be undefeated, to win all the major championships that are available in the combined events, and score over 9,000 at the games, like, say his name. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I agree with you. Like, this is a 3-man race. That's it.
Well, actually, I don't think it's a 3-man race. I think it's a 3-man conversation, right? Because in my opinion, anyway, Krauser's the guy. I mean, total dominance, indoor, outdoor. Warholm, it's hard to ever discount what he did because he took the record and he broke it by almost a second, right? But it just wasn't Krauser-esque in my opinion. Like, he did a phenomenal job. He has phenomenal races, but in my opinion, based on what he did indoors and outdoors in every competition he stepped on the track, I don't think anybody ever went to the meet going, wow, Ryan could lose today.
Yeah, never, not one time.
Right.
So, okay. I agree that it should be Ryan Krauser. Full stop. Ryan Krauser should win the award. I'm going to make the case for why Karsten, if he won it, I would be totally fine with that. The indoor issue doesn't exist for Warholm. His event doesn't exist indoors. True. So he's naturally at a disadvantage there. Krauser's ultimate performance, the world record in the shot put, Warholm's is better. It just is. It's better. They both utterly dominated their fields at a level never seen before. And I'm sorry, Ryan Krauser doesn't have a world record holder to beat in order to win his events. Carson's level of competition is higher, meaning Rai Benjamin and Santos and the crew is better than Krauser's competition was. So to take nothing away from Krauser, because that's the greatest season I've ever seen in throws, right? Warholm's season is also the greatest I've ever seen in that event, and his competition was better, tougher, and his world record performance was higher than Krauser's.
Okay, so I'm going to co-sign on the performance itself was better, which therefore means that Warholm should be the performance of the year.
Yep.
Okay. But see, you just led to my argument, the fact that Ryan did this and he didn't have to. Warholm was forced to, right? He had to go there. But Ryan showed up and did this when there was no fear of him losing. He did this because he could.
It's fair.
Right. So that's my thing. I mean, I'm not trying to discount anything that Warholm did because, I'm a Warholm fan, right? So unless he's racing Ryan, I'm a big fan. But at the end of the day, what Ryan Krauser did, would go out, he was a machine every single weekend. And the other thing that Ryan did was he was still on fire after the Olympic Games, where Warholm was not.
Well, so two things. One I think is actually hilarious because Clyde wasn't on the show last week. He literally made the identical argument that I made for Sid last week. Like he made the same argument, like almost word for word. So like
Sid over like who? Elaine?
Over everybody.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'm the only one that picked Sid, and I get it, but we made the same argument for the same reasons.
Gotcha.
But what I want to talk about the Krauser season is this, right? Nobody ever wants to talk about this, but I think it's relevant. Most people are under the belief at this point that Ryan Krauser is clean.
Yeah.
All people know that the world records he broke indoors and outdoors were done by dirty athletes.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, Ryan Krauser was chasing an imaginary record with no competition and only intrinsic motivation. Like he could have thrown 72 feet this year and probably still won almost every competition he was in. Right? So like at the end of the day, I don't think anybody would ever doubt that Warholm's performance, dude, that might be the greatest performance in the history of track and field.
It is.
Right? So, like that's a whole nother show, and that will be a fun.
What's the world record in the 800 shoot?
In the 800, you said?
140.
141.11, is that right?
That was 140.
140.11? 140 point something. It's fast as hell.
Yeah, which I think happened. I just think that's better than the 400 hurdle record. That's it. That's the only one I think.
Ooh, it's close.
So like I said, that will be a great show debate. One day we'll have to debate that, like because I think that will be great because I don't think any of us will agree on one mark or the other. But I think if you empirically compare the quality of the two seasons, I think that Sir Lucius said it best. Like, at no point in time did any of us ever think that Ryan Krauser was going to lose.
No.
Like he was that dominant. I think we would have been more shocked that he lost than all the good things we did see this year.
Yeah.
If somebody beat Ryan Krauser, like and Ryan Krauser threw well, and somebody beat him, not like he was sick and had the flu, not as like he had 2 fouls and had a stand, like nothing, like if he like competed and somebody beat him, I think we all would have fell off our chairs. And so at the end of the day, look, I know there's a European bias. I know that there's a track bias over field. And if you go back and look at all the way back to all the track and field news athletes of the years, in the last 50 years, what I just said is true. There has always been, I mean, the year that Jackie broke the world record in heptathlon, she didn't win athlete of the year. So let's just stop right there, right? So like, there's always been a field event, an anti-field event bias, and there's always been a European bias. So who I think is going to win, I think Warholm's going to win. But I think if I was going, like, if I had a vote to give, you couldn't convince me even at gunpoint not to vote for Ryan Krauser.
Oh, you actually think he might lose the award?
Oh, I think Warholm's going to win.
He's been saying that for the last month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We had this discussion privately about a month ago, and he said, "Oh, Warholm's going to win."
Listen, we all know there's a Euro bias. in the game. We know that. It is what it is.
And it's a huge bias, and it's a real thing.
It absolutely exists. But look, hey, the committee, to take it back to our previous conversation, the committee says Grant Holloway is not top 10. So, hey, maybe Warner's going to win it. Who the hell knows? I don't know.
Just for reference, Rudisha ran it in 140.91.
There it is.
Yeah. So kind of all right, but not right at the same time. Moving on.
Wait, who did you say? Who did you say has the world record?
She butchered the band's name. David Rudisha.
David Rudisha.
I just said Rudisha.
Okay.
I didn't say his first name. I said Rudisha.
She said it in a very super fast chew way. It didn't sound like Rudisha.
Got it. I understand now what she said. Rudisha ran. Right. I got it.
Oh, yeah. She ran them.
Oh.
She ran them together.
Sorry.
Rudisha ran.
Yeah.
I was like, who? What's the man's name? You're wretch around what?
Oh, Jesus.
Coming off of the oval for a moment. Maybe everyone knows, maybe not everyone knows that the NBA has made an equipment change, and the basketball, of which said basketball players dribble, shoot, and pass, is no longer made by Spalding. Is that what you said?
Spalding. They got rid of Spalding.
So, what are the effects that we're seeing? Is it being an effective change or not effective change? What are your thoughts to that?
I guess, look, I threw the topic in, so I'll weigh in first. What I think is hugely at issue, and I'm not going to go on the conspiracy theory, which there's an easy one to go on, but what I think is hugely at issue, and this happens all the time in professional sports, especially the ball sports, the players were not involved in the equipment change. And I think that in and of itself is all of the problem. The money from the new Wilson deal goes into the league and the owners' pockets, not the players. And they're the ones whose livelihood is based on the use of this. I can't call it inferior. It's just holistically different equipment. I'm gonna give a really, really short explanation because I can't do this, so I'm stealing it from Jay Will from this morning. The simplest way to put it is this: the tackiness of the Spalding ball is such that if you were to shoot a layup with right-handed English from the right-hand side of the hoop, the ball would hit the glass and immediately go left toward the basket. If you shoot the Wilson ball, because it is so different and it is constructed differently, the same shot with the same English on the same spot on the glass goes less left towards the basket, and it goes vertical off of the impact. Does that make sense? Like the rebound effect of the materials is different than the softer rebound effect of the Spalding. So literally same shot, same skill. One is a make and the other is a bad miss. It looks like you can't shoot a layup. And that's literally what's happening in the NBA.
I don't know the why behind the change. I imagine it was some kind of financial windfall for the people who decided to do it.
You do know the why.
But I don't know who decided like, hey, this is a good idea outside of money. So if it's all about the money, that's cool. And the point is the point that you made. The athletes are the ones that have to go out there and perform with this thing, and their performances are being impacted dramatically. And ultimately that means that they're going to be seen as less valuable in the short term until they catch up and adapt, as any great athletes do. I will, from a fan of the NBA perspective, it has been interesting for me to loosely pay attention to, like, Steph Curry is still an amazing shooter. Dame's numbers are all the way off the charts right now.
Off the charts.
it's not like Dame can't shoot all of a sudden, but changing the ball further highlights how much better Steph Curry is than everybody else, because his numbers might be worse, but they're not off the charts bad like others are. So in those little examples, you know, I'm entertained by this. Ultimately, I think over time they'll adapt to the new reality. I think it's stupid. I think it's a bad look. I think it's selfish, but you know, it makes for another little entertaining kink in the basketball season. And it, like I said, amplifies who is truly great and who is, you know, maybe inflated a little bit.
And dress up.
At the end of the day, they're professionals. The true professionals, the true masters of their craft will take the ball, get in the gym, and they'll figure it out.
Yep.
I'm not gonna, I don't, you know, we know it's money driven. Most decisions made by owners are money driven, that they're in the business of making money. So no, I'm not surprised at all they made the decision, but Steph's figured it out. The rest of them will figure it out. They just get in the gym and figure it out.
I mean, let's just be honest. Steph could make Cheerios from 6 miles away. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter like that.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, if you look at history, you know, the true professional figures it out. You know, I promise you, if they change the football, Brady will figure it out.
But the weird thing is this, right? Like, it would be like changing the shape of the football. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it would be
I
like
almost said
making
it.
the football fatter.
Well, you know, to spin it back around to a track example, I think we all agree here, but I've been clamoring forever that it makes no sense that the women run the same height and same race at hurdles from elementary school, junior high, all the way to the Olympics. If you take the current crew of professional hurdling women and raise the hurdles 3 inches, half of them can't do it no more. If you raise it 6 inches, everybody got problems, right? But the true greats will figure it out. Are women not allowed to be challenged past their junior high development? I think that's a welcome change that makes sense, that would amplify a sport. I'm not sure this ball change makes the NBA better. It's just weird.
Yeah, no chance. It doesn't make it any better.
I don't think it makes it any better or any worse. Like I said, they're professionals. Trust me, a year from now, nobody will be talking about it because they're all going to figure it out. They're going to be in the gym all summer. They'll figure it out. But
which I don't agree with you. I don't disagree with you.
You know, like that's something we need to dive into one of these days. I know we have done a little bit already, but you know, whether it's the hurdle change, whether it's the shot put or the discus, you know.
Yeah. Like, my whole thing is just like, look, if you're going to change the ball, so a year ago or whenever they started having these conversations, right? They should have gave all the NBA players a new ball.
Oh, now did they not do that?
No.
Oh, then it's conspiracy.
Well, they couldn't give them a new ball. That. You can't see that's not good, because you can't give them a new ball when they're still playing with the old ball.
You can give it to them in practice.
No, because it's going to mess up. No,
it'll interrupt things.
Interrupt the flow of what the ball they're playing.
Well, okay, wait. I legit don't know.
Ball
I legit don't know. How long after this decision was made, at some point in between the end of the season and the start of this one? How long?
I'm sure they got the ball immediately. They got it immediately. He's just being. That's all he's.
The ball was officially changed after the Olympics.
Okay, and they got it right after the Olympics.
According to Paul George, basically, they got access to the balls basically at, it's not spring training, what's it called? Like the NBA Summer League.
Summer League.
So okay. So Summer League and training camp. So they got the new ball.
All right. They've had plenty of time. Stop.
That's fine.
Steph, I don't know if it's plenty of time.
It was enough time for Steph to figure it out. Dame need to go in the gym.
Exactly.
Really? That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
what the league-wide three-point shooting is down 18%, y'all. It's not just Dame. Dame's just the worst one.
3%.
3%.
Yeah. Sorry.
He said, yeah, like he did say that.
No, you know what I meant to say. Jesus.
So there is a league.
Dame's is down 18%. That's
exactly.
that transfers the numbers.
So the
Honestly,
league-wide
is
percentage is
he on your
3.
fantasy league team or something? Is that what this is about?
No, I don't play fantasy basketball. That's too much work.
Right now, field goal percentage is at 446, which is its lowest since 2004. The 3-point percentage is at 342, which is its lowest since 1999.
Yikes.
So
Pretty bad.
Just
It's pretty bad.
well, and the game has changed so much by then. Like,
Well, look,
yikes.
the games are still entertaining, and I say entertaining, I mean I watch like one a month until the
I was
playoffs.
getting ready to say, like, you
Oh,
watch them every
yeah.
night.
You know what I mean? So
Regular season basketball is unwatchable.
We know you're not watching.
just
regular
holler
season
at me in
basketball.
April or whatever it is.
You
Right.
always say that. Call to me in April or May when it counts, right?
Yeah. Basketball season does not start till after the Christmas games. That's for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely. What's next, Chu?
So Kevin Durant was quoted as saying, "Oh hell no," about the ball.
Well, listen, stop it. We all know Kevin Durant gonna complain about everything. He's the softest professional athlete in the history of the world. So
Oh my
what's
gosh.
next?
So next, let's address some of the coaches carousel. We had some questions in regards to who was filling these throws coaching jobs, and some other things were named and whatnot. But the one that we neglected to mention on air last week was not Maryland, the Ohio State hire, sorry. And that is, his name just went out my head. Dog it.
You got it, Chew. Clickety clack, clack, clack.
I know.
Oh, we gonna play
Close it,
Jeopardy
close it.
music
I know.
because you had a
I'm
whole
there.
wind up.
I know, and I had it, and I closed the
And-
wrong. What's it called?
And I can tell you that Tyler Boydroff from Townsend is now at Maryland as the Maryland Stars coach.
Got it, because that one I could not find. So thank
Yeah.
you. And it just went away.
And I'm sure I butchered his name too.
We love you though, Tyler. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Welcome to
Tyler,
the Big Ten.
you girls coach at Maryland.
Welcome to the Big Ten, Tyler. Go get them.
I apologize. My laptop is struggling right now. Okay, and we are looking at Mr. Travis Coleman. I knew it was a T and a C, and I couldn't remember it. Travis Coleman.
Who was formerly at Maryland.
Correct.
Congratulations, Travis. Welcome back to the Big Ten.
Mr. Huffins, you had one that you needed to.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oklahoma to Michigan.
I know. I was like, I don't remember. I didn't look it up because you knew it.
The Oklahoma throws coach, who I never say his name, is now the throws coach at Michigan. So I need you to get my back and say the man's name so that one of our very consistent listeners and watchers
She's
does not jump all over me for not mentioning this man's name.
Yeah, almost there.
Because I always know his name until we do the show. And then my mind just dumps. Oh, I don't know about y'all, but I'm hot.
Oh, I don't. It is not blatantly apparent.
Y'all better move on and get out of this while
Yeah.
you still got faces to say.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
You don't know the name, you blew the name. It is what it is, sir.
yeah,
We will get this right. Continue.
got it. I mean, that's it. So the carousel is finally slowing down, even though we have open positions. Seems as if the open positions are stalling out. A little scary. A little scary that there are.
That would be Mr. Colin Bovers, is that his name?
Thank you. I could not remember the man's name.
Lucius to the rescue.
Sir Lucius, you are a lifesaver.
Hey, I'm just impressed that I can find him before you did.
Well, I found it. I didn't think that was him, so that was my fault. That'll be off topic.
War.
No, that'll be all fun. So with that being said, wrap that up, put a bow on it. Let's move on to the rapid fire. And the funnier part is, I'm sure he doesn't remember, but Mr. Huffins, Huffington, I'm sorry, you are on the seat. You are in line.
Earlier today, I thought to myself, I'm on hot seat tonight. So I actually did remember.
That's funny. Yeah. So,
see, I'm ready to throw up my W.
Short and sweet, because we need to, can't say that, but I'm gonna say it. We're gonna trim the fat for this one. We're gonna get right into it. So
Lord help her.
Per your article of clothing that you just removed, hoodies, zip up or pullover?
Pullover.
Chick-fil-A, Polynesian sauce or Chick-fil-A sauce?
Chick-fil-A sauce.
Do you remember your first NLI that was accepted? So it offered and accepted, not just offered.
I do. And I'm actually really, really fortunate because my first NLI was kind of famous. He's the throws coach of Texas. Zeb Sion, who's from Pocatello, Idaho, was the first person that I offered an NLI that accepted it.
Wow. I think you found a good on that one.
Go Zeb.
Who is your Sesame Street character?
My favorite, or the one that's most like me?
Like your go-to. So sure, your favorite.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it's it's probably the Count, because he's so cheesy and I laugh every time. All 3, 2, 1 times.
Wow. Ending on sour lemons on purpose, but I want to see how human you are and demonstrate it to the rest of the audience.
Oh, thank you. This is awesome.
Have you ever double false started, since you're as old as the dirt that you run on? You had 2 at that time, not just 1.
No. I cannot, for the life of me, understand how you false start twice in a meet.
Got it. And then, have you ever no marked?
Ouch, chew.
I told you I was going for the gusto.
I no marked in the long jump in my 3rd collegiate meet ever, and it's the only time I've ever done that. And as Dwight Stones wanted to tell the entire world, I no marked in the javelin at World Championships in 97.
Got it.
I was trying to throw the javelin out of the stadium so that I had a chance with my slow 1500 to win a medal.
Because you don't know how to run the 15 and you never trained for it.
If you let people tell it, sure.
Anyhow, gentlemen, please follow up with your rapid fire questions.
Okay, so she asked you who was the first athlete you got an NLI from. So who was your first national champion you ever coached?
They're really close. My first collegiate national champion was Elena Kafuru in the indoor long jump from Boise State. Yeah.
And I asked him that because when he got the job, he called me the first week and goes, "This girl's gonna win indoors." I'm like, I don't even know who she is. And then when I'm at the meet and I watched her win, I was like, he told me that back in August she was gonna win.
I mean, look, there's a true story to this, and one of these days we could have her on the show and she'll tell the story the same way. The very first day that we actually met, she came into my office. I had been there for a day and a half, and she wanted to introduce herself. And I was like, I know exactly who you are. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, but I tell you this. I said, if you listen to me this year, I said, I promise you will win a national championship. She laughed so hard, she left my office. She came back like 15 minutes later. She's like, Coach, have you ever seen me compete? She's like, how are you going to say I'm going to win a national championship? I've never been to the national meet.
What you got, Clyde?
What since it's industry Christmas, what are your wishes for the three panelists for this holiday season and the season moving forward?
Okay, that's easy. We'll start with the low-hanging fruit. I wish for
I know. What the hell?
Well, no, because I'm the closest to yours. I see yours every day. Jeez.
Look, we already know who you were going to talk about. You had to call me low-hanging fruit.
But I didn't say it in a bad way. I just meant like it was the easiest for me. That's what low-hanging fruit means. Anyway.
Okay.
That worked so well.
I wish for Coach Chu to sign not one but several combined eventers and show the world what she's really made of. She got one, and I think there's more on the way. For Sir Lucius, the question is always like, what do you get the man who has everything? And I always say more of things he likes. So if I listen to unpack my petty card, I'll say this: if I could wish for anything, I would wish that Sir Lucius would get like 2 half-milers that were like top 5 in the country, and then he would actually like go coach him and have him go 1-2 in the national, go 1-2 at NCs in the 8, just to prove that he could. And then for you, my friend, for Big Clyde out west, I just hope that you sign half the kids you bring on campus, because I know you're going to hustle and bring lots and lots and lots of kids on campus. So if you sign half of them, y'all are going to be better than y'all have been in decades.
I can rock with that.
Well, you may step out of line and get out of the heat. So thank you very much, Mr. Hood Celebrity. Oh my goodness. Heartbeat props. Let's lift somebody up and just glorify them while we can. Clyde, would you like to go first?
Sure. My heartbeat props are not to anybody specific this week. They're more to a conglomerate. My heartbeat props this week are to women. Women are inherently more advanced creatures than we could ever be. And I am constantly in awe of them and know more than I have been the past couple of days of my life. So fellas, just accept it. They're inherently better creatures. They have passed us on the evolutionary chain for a really long time, and we should do a better job paying homage and respect to it. So ladies, I'm in awe of you.
I will go next, and I will ride that kind of that same train. I'm going to give my heartbeat props to my big sister. She's a year older than I am. Today is actually her birthday. To my sister Donette, and she, being the fellow Scorpion, quiet but very feisty if you push the wrong button. And so I just want to wish her a happy 63rd birthday. Love you, girl. I'm sure you will not see this unless I record it and send it to you. So, but anyway, I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.
I'm going to embarrass my heartbeat props. My heartbeat props go actually out to Clyde's assistant coach, TJ Harris. He is he's a mentee of mine, and I'm very honored that that's true. And very often as a mentor, you ask yourself, will this person do everything necessary to be successful? And I'm not going to out all his business. I'll just say this: the sacrifices that he and his family are making this year to be a coach out west are above and beyond what 99% of y'all who watch this show would ever consider doing. And the man deserves props, and his family deserve props, because they are in it together. So my heartbeat props, my heartbeat props go to one Mr. TJ Harris, who does watch the show, and I hope he tears up when he hears it. Love you, man.
Love
I
it.
sent TJ on a very tedious mission today, which I will tell y'all about off camera.
I can only imagine.
Oh Lord.
I'll wrap up Heartbeat Props. Similar notion as to Mr. Huffington just said. The mentees, or if you don't want to be labeled that, the people who ask for my help or ask for my guidance or ask for my 2 cents, they've been in abundance recently for me. And one, thank you for trusting me and my thoughts and my experiences to guide you or to lead you away. But above and beyond all else, thank you for wanting to be better, all in all, whatever that means. Sacrifices, being vulnerable, taking risks, all those things. So kudos to you all. Just whatever it's been the last 3 weeks, my phone's been very busy. And one, I appreciate your patience with me returning your calls, texts, and emails. But two, I appreciate you just trusting me. So word up on that. But other than that, I know I'm bringing back all the old ones. I said today, heck to the gnaw, and the student athletes were like, what the? So with that being said, we'll wrap this bad boy up. We will wrap up season 2, episode 30, like it was just day 1. And we'll see you in a few days. I know, right? So crazy. We'll see you in a few days. Enjoy yourselves. Cross country regionals. Have fun. See you next week at nationals. Have a great night, y'all. See you soon.